Do what you have to do,
Yeah,
To survive.
for sure.
I don't know how we made it.
Older people at least know how to survive. A lot of the youngers don't.
Yeah. I don't know how we made it, but we did. I mean, we've done without a lot of
We
stuff.
were taught to, not waste and things like that. We
Yeah.
were brought up different than they
Yeah.
are today.
Completely different. Kids now that they didn't know how to survive.
No, a lot of young people wouldn't survive if we got into a war.
Yeah, they started rationing groceries and gasoline
Oh, yeah.
now.
They'd
People,
never make it.
they gotta get up every day and drive 10 miles for their $12 cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So they can go back.
I know they do.
And
Or farther than that.
Yeah.
the last job at the last bus company I worked at, was there 10 years. I missed one day. And I was trying to go to work that one day I missed. Young people, they get a headache, they don't go to work. And my wife was at Sam's Club and they don't show up there all the time because they just don't want to go to work.
Yeah.
I was never raised like that. I gotta be dying to stay home.
I think we were all brought up with the thing that if you don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Oh, Pat's got the big seat.
Don't.
Whoa.
I will just as quickly sit on the floor in the front too. We could do it powerhouse style.
Well, read right off
Make our
what.
necks stretch too bad if you sit on wrong.
No, you guys will all be down there with me.
No, no, no.
No?
We have to call fire department to
You'd
get me
have to
out.
get me back up.
Well, good afternoon. It is 4:31. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order, the Finance Committee. We do have a quorum. I just wanted to confirm that with Matthew. So 4 of us make a quorum. We do have a couple of people coming. They're just going to be a little bit late. But we're gonna start on time. So the first item of business is expansion of investment accounts. So let's just set the stage real quick. So we have one investment account that holds multiple certificates of deposit. Today, that primarily funds the sewer program. However, there is one CD that is for what extra fund?
Is it Rosen Street or,
No,
there should be an investment fund for different things that are still.
correct. Okay, so here's what we're talking about. Here's what we're proposing. Am I off on the fact that we have one CD that's not sewer?
I think we do.
Out of the 3 that are invested now?
Technically 4 because we just
Did
authorized the
yes,
4th one.
you're right.
Or the other, were the first 3 all sewer? At first I thought they were.
No,
I don't think
Okay,
so.
we'll come back to that.
I don't
Let's-
think so because they were done last year.
Yes, they were
And
all
they
done
didn't
before.
touch, they didn't touch restricted money.
No, because if you do, if the state catches it at the end of the year, when they do that,
Well, you can still invest
Yeah.
restricted money, you
You
just
just
can't
have-
use
you
it.
can
for-
It
invest
just has to be
it, but
isolated
you
and
can't
separated
take it
out.
out.
Well,
You can,
it has to stay in the restricted account if you
Yeah.
take it out. But
Yeah,
It has
It-
to
it-
stay
it's
in
a-
the restricted.
it's a
account.
vertically
And-
separated, isolated thing. Okay, we can come back to that point. What's there now isn't really what we're talking about. What we're talking about is expanding our usage of investment accounts. So today, any money that is sitting in a cash account, which is everything on this list, so you should have a list that has a bunch of blue boxes and a couple of yellow boxes. Everything is in a cash account except for the line item that says funds held at central investments of 755,000. So everything else is a cash account, and those cash accounts draw like less than a 1/10 of a percentage point in interest. It's like 0.04%. It's awful. It's bad. Like $1 a year for all of the cash accounts. So here's the proposal. We have the opportunity to stand up investment accounts that are similarly isolated to the fund that it's drawing its original money from. And the interest goes back into the fund that it is supporting. And the interest rate on most CDs right now, it fluctuates. So sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's higher. Right now, it's about 4 to 4.3%, depending on how long of a CD you get or how long the investment, the maturation rate is. It's generally between 3.9 and 4.3, which is a much better return rate. And it allows us to realize income for the money that is just sitting in the account right now. So we've already talked about the 3 pillars of investments: safety, liquidity, and actual yield. So right now sitting in a cash account is terrible on yield. So the investment vehicle at Central Investments meets all 3 of those criteria. It's safety first. It is liquid in that we can sell at any point if we need funds from that account. And it has a modest rate of return for a municipal investment. So here's the proposal. Look at general operating fund unrestricted, $774,000. That is a qualifiable account for an investment side of it. We would look to pull about $200,000 out and put it into an investment account of a duration. At the initial outset, we'll look at what provides the best rate of return, whether that's 3 months, 6 months, whether it's a month, and it can kind of go from there. So Matthew will start looking at the rates, and then at the next board meeting, we should have rates available for that, right, Matthew? Okay, perfect. And then, so general operating fund unrestricted. Keep in mind that this is where 95% of all of our monthly expenses come out of. So here's kind of what we're looking at. We want to keep in cash what we expect to be spending during that time period. So if it's a 3-month CD, we need to at least have between the income and expenses enough to cover everything without having to prematurely sell a CD. So that's why we're starting off with 200,000. We're going to test the water, see if that's the right amount, move it around if we need to increase or decrease the amount with the next renewal. The next fund that is a candidate is Road and Street, $610,000 right now. We need a little bit more information from the primary user of that account. We would like to know what the anticipated expenses are out of that account for the remainder of the year. Is that possible for you to work with Chris in order to get that information? Sure. Cool. So that would be another candidate. We could do 100, we could do 200,000. Once we hit 250 though, we would need to start looking at multiple vehicles. So one CD maxes at 250,000. That's the rate of safety. That's the rate of insurability by FDIC and whatever other guarantors are out there. So if we do more than 250, then it would be 2 different CDs. Not a problem. And then capital improvement. So today, the current balance as of June 30th, which was 15 days ago, was 1.3 million. We know that we have expenses coming out of capital improvements over the next 6 months. Ambulance purchase is one of them, as long as they are sticking to their word of September.
Came here just to tell us
His
that.
chief's got him by the throat.
And that'll be $300,000+, 325 or something, right?
120-ish. And then we also have the trading in of the old ambulance. I think it was like 7,000.
7,000 back, yeah.
So.
It's something. I mean, it could be we have to pay somebody to haul it off, and we have somebody giving us money for it. So,
well, just so you know,
Yeah.
that in that ambulance, that motor is notoriously bad. That at around 100,000 miles, the motor, it blows up. I mean, it has to be replaced. So we're not there yet. So if we can get anything for it, and it's still running, and it still runs, we still use it. So we have to. So anyway, so I think you get what we can get on that.
Yeah. So my point is, we have a couple of expenses remaining out of capital improvements. We have the ambulance coming out, 320-ish, and then we have the annual fire station payment of $114,000. Are there any other scheduled known expenses that are coming out of capital improvements for the latter half of this year?
Well, that's not gonna leave a whole lot.
I mean, that still leaves 800,000. 850,000. I mean, that's a considerable amount of funds that can be generating revenue for the city rather than 0.04%. Like that's our point. Even if you do a 3-month CD, there is no harm in doing a 3-month CD at 4% and then pulling it right back into cash with the added increase. And then you're just back where you started with plus the interest.
You're sitting, right now, you're sitting with they're offering a 5-month CD, which would take you to December 31st.
Yep.
For 4.13%.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if you do just a little bit of quick math
It's
on,
a couple of thousand.
even if we do only 500,000 times 0.043, that's still 21,000 in profit for money that was just sitting there. If a city our size can do a lot with $21,000.
But that's the 21,000 is an APR. That's for a year.
For a year, okay.
So
Yeah.
you take the 5, you divide that
The
by
5
12
months,
and
yeah.
multiply by 5. So you're okay. You're okay.
So what we look at is what is anticipated to remain in capital improvements fund minus like 10%, so that if there's any cost differences or anything that's unexpected, we have a little bit more liquidity, and we don't have to sell an entire CD. Capital improvements would probably be about $700,000 that we'd be looking at putting into CDs. The good thing about it is you can tier it, so we can do a 3-month, a 5 months, a 6-month, or whatever we want to do, but it does have to be split up. A fund of that size is going to be at least 3 to 4 different CDs. So on Monday, what we're looking for is kind of finalization of the amounts, what the kind of framework that we talked about, leaving enough for known expenses, and then putting the rest, designating the rest as an investment account. And then each of those are going to be isolated to the funds that they come from. So the interest generated by capital improvements fund stays in capital improvements. The interest generated by road and street would stay with road and street. The same with general operating fund unrestricted. Is that something that you'll be able to work up for Monday, Matthew? Those 3 accounts?
Well, I guess what specifically are you wanting to have in front of you?
Kind of a proposal for the total amount, the investment creation, the investment account creation, which is the vehicle per fund, and then the breakdown of what investment options are available to us so that we can kind of choose which ones fit for our desire, and we can make a motion to approve the transfer of funds and the purchase of the CDs. So it would be a motion to approve the creation of the investment account, transfer of the funds, and the purchase of the CDs.
The sewer fund list that you got almost $1.25 million in it.
Yeah.
Is some of the money held at Central Bank included in that, or is that actual cash in the bank? I know it's restricted.
Yep.
But
that, as of June 30th, that's an accurate number. That had 250,000 more in there until we purchased the most recent CD.
So Ed,
That's what was the funds held at central investment, that was closer to 500,000. But now that's 755 and 1224 for sewer, that has been adjusted for that.
so
That's a good number as of June 30th.
can we move like a 500,000 of that too, to invest, to earn some money on it?
I'd be supportive of something like that.
No, okay, we've got a sewer project coming, the sewer.
We have scope, yeah.
And that'll probably run 100 grand, 100 to 120 grand.
Yep.
So you're good. You're good.
Yep.
You're good.
The only thing that would be a caveat to that is if they started doing scoping and found a whole bunch of repairs that needed to be made.
The good thing is we have CDs coming mature in the next couple of months. They're starting to stagger into completion.
But I mean, if we even took half of that at 600,000 and invested that,
Yeah.
then still we get 600 to.
Where
Yeah.
do you take salaries out of?
Salaries come out of, okay, so 95% of it comes out of general operating fund.
Okay,
There are personnel within Public Works that get paid for multiple funds, some of them restricted based off what activity they're doing. So if they're doing stuff for Road and Street, then they get paid, then their salary gets paid out of Road and Street. And so theirs gets broken up into some of those other ones, like Road and Street, sewer, anything else?
and so we gotta be careful, we don't take too much because of their salaries.
Salaries, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whatever amount that we're expecting to knowingly spend, plus this, whatever the expected
Right.
salary would be for it. Yeah. Good point, Linda, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion on this? Dean, did you have any questions?
No.
Cool.
Okay, so John, you want to take, you're looking at, let's do it in $250,000.
Increments?
Yeah,
So
take a half,
500,000?
yeah, take 500.
Okay,
So do you want to go 250 on the general operating instead of 200, or do you want to
that's what I
stick?
do.
Yeah, we could do 250.
Because you gotta remember that you've got money coming in every month,
Through sales use
Yes.
tax, yeah.
everything.
It's not that it's just straight expenses out of there,
Right.
yeah, for sure. And then, yeah, 500 out of sewer, 250 out of general, and then capital improvements, I think we proposed, what, 750?
Where's capital improvements? As long as we've got, you know,
Yeah,
see, when does the building payment come out?
The fire station,
Yes.
next week.
Oh,
So you got like 440,000 between the ambulance and the building payment. So that would take you down to
900.
900,000, give or take.
Yeah, minus 320,000, minus 114,000. So we're expected to be around $950,000 remaining in capital improvements after the two large expenses.
Okay, so is there sales tax that flows into that monthly, quarterly, semi-annual? Capital improvement.
Yeah, go ahead, Linda.
Okay, what I'd like to know is on the sewer fund,
So.
okay, is that has to be already invested somewhere,
Yes, so the 755 is invested right now.
okay, but not all of it? Why couldn't you invest it all that you had left, and you would make more money?
Conservative.
Because
Okay,
we're not gonna
let's
have
just
a
do a
big
quick
sewer
5-minute
problem.
recess while our city clerk does the thing. If that's okay. I want to make sure that any discussion we have gets captured in the.
Because eventually, we're gonna need billions of dollars to replace sewers. And that, I mean, it's very, very, very costly.
Yeah, let's just put a pin in that real quick
And
while
so we
Matthew's,
wanna, you know, I'm just discussing that.
he's just working with a citizen up front.
That's what the team was. Okay.
Yeah, a part of doing meetings during business hours means you gotta make sure the citizens are taken care of. Wearing of all the hats, Matthew.
This is how you stay slender.
Yeah.
That's it, he gets his steps in.
Yes, he gets his steps in.
Okay, so while you're gone, Linda was talking about the additional expenses of a possible sewer replacement in the next period of time. Well, what was the rest of your comment, Linda?
Well, that would be billions of dollars. It won't just be thousands or
The city would dissolve it.
hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
It would, or else we would fall apart just like Kansas City does,
The city
because
would
they couldn't
dissolve.
pay theirs, as we all know.
Yeah, I mean, it's our responsibility to
And we have
properly
nobody that's
maintain and
gonna
set
give
aside
us
funds
sewer
for
money or
Yeah.
something like they do. Because we're all paying for that everywhere in the state, you know, that gets water from our river.
Yeah, so, but the big thing is, the money's not like it's put away for 10 years and we can't touch it.
Yeah.
It's
No, but
still
I think we
available.
should invest what we can invest.
Yeah,
Even
absolutely.
if it's more than that.
Right.
Personally, since it's just for the end of the year.
Yeah, and I mean,
So,
look at rates.
so what you're proposing is a larger
A
amount
larger
moved to
amount, if,
investment?
you know, if we can get it out of the other I don't know. I
So-
don't know where it's invested at now.
So okay, we have 755,000 in multiple CDs, 4 different CDs.
I know, but
Today.
can you take them out without a penalty?
Yeah, but we're not trying to take it out.
No, I know, but could you? You
Yes,
can't.
yes,
You can,
yes.
without penalty?
Yes.
No, you
Okay,
can't.
so it's not a penalty. So what happens is not you're working directly with the bank that issued the CD. What happens is the CD is a vehicle. The person who you gave the money to keeps the money. But what you're doing when you sell a CD in an investment account like this is what you do is you put the remainder of the CD on the open market for another municipality to
Right.
purchase or another entity to purchase, and they retain the remainder of the interest rates. So selling it doesn't come with an inherent penalty. Other municipalities or other places will bid on the remainder of your CD, and the prevailing interest rate at that time could make that investment more valuable or less valuable than it was at the time of purchase.
Right.
So it's not a guaranteed penalty. If we locked in an interest rate that's high, and interest rates today are really low, like 1%, then our investment becomes really valuable, and we would probably make a little bit of money on the sale of it. If the interest rate is really high now, but we locked in a lower interest rate, then we would probably lose a little bit of money on the sale of it. So it's not a penalty as much as it is the movement of the market.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, it's not like a guarantee that you lose 5% if you sell early. It's nothing of the sort. Does that make sense?
Well, it makes sense, but I mean, you just wouldn't get it for the whole year then.
I'm sorry. I didn't
If you
understand
sold
that.
early, I mean, if you sold early, you wouldn't collect for the whole year yet,
No, but you have your
Yeah.
money back.
but you'd have your money back, wouldn't you?
The only reason that we would sell early is if we encountered an expense in that account that exceeded the amount of cash that we had on hand.
Okay,
That we weren't expecting.
That we weren't
budgeted
expecting,
for,
yeah.
or some sort of catastrophe, basically, from a sewer perspective.
Yeah.
So do you think investing 500,000 of that 1.25 or 750? If we did 750, then that would take that down to about 300,000 after you paid for the scoping project that's
Yeah.
proposed. Do you want to take it back below?
Can we get a recommendation from Chris Cronk of how much his expenses are expected to be for that scoping project?
By Monday.
Yeah, and then that'll kind of drive our discussion and determination of how much we're comfortable with leaving in there. Getting down to, you know, like 10,000, 20,000, and then finding out that we have a $50,000 bill means that we do have the potential to lose money during the sale of one of the CDs. So that's that level of comfort of what's remaining in
I've got
cash.
a question.
Yeah.
Has, Chief McGinley talked to you about the dispatching equipment?
No.
We apparently are at a lower frequency rate than they're moving to, and our frequency is not going to be, usable anymore.
When you say frequency, like actual, the radio frequencies?
Yes.
Okay, we are in 800 megahertz right now, which is standard public safety.
They're going to like 11?
They're going to 11, like Mars around the area.
So.
Do you know anything about that?
Please help.
No, so I think it's there's 4.9 hertz, or I don't know
Yes,
megahertz.
yes, you're in the-
4.9 megahertz that is getting shut off.
Yes.
Apparently it
That's-
was shut off. It was shut off last week.
They're
And
using,
it's redundant. So we're on one, we don't have a backup. They're trying to figure that out. And it doesn't just affect, it's not just a Pleasant Valley issue, it is a whole Northland issue.
Yeah.
And even, I think Raytown was involved, and I was just talking to Jared earlier, and he said that both of their systems were 4.9. So, I mean,
Okay.
it's an issue that is, you know, it's not gonna have to be addressed by Pleasant Valley alone.
Yes.
So,
but he was talking about it there being, like at the end of December, we would have to have like 50 grand for equipment
Okay.
to upgrade.
So basically upgrading the radios and handhelds.
no, I don't.
No, it's not the handheld.
No, I think it's just the.
The dispatcher bay.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
so.
yes.
I think so.
I think you're right.
Okay. I'll meet with Jared, see, and I'll work with you as well to see what that actually
I can
means.
tell you, both of us have pretty limited knowledge on that side of the radio stuff.
I've got a little bit of exposure to the radio equipment through my ham radio license. I'd be more than happy to look at any of the communication that you've received from Mars or some of the other radio subscribers.
I haven't received that.
Yeah, and no official communications.
Well, I don't know if Jared might have, but it goes through him.
And I think it all came through Kansas City. Kansas City was out here discussing a lot of the stuff with Jared. I don't know if they discussed it with you or not. Okay.
No, just dispatch.
But
Okay.
that's just something.
It's something to think about, and that's from that. Any improvement to dispatching bays would be capital improvements anyway. So, and we're persuaded to have like 400,000. I'm sorry, 200,000 left in the cash account afterwards. So
Okay.
we have the fluidity and cash to be able to cover that should the need arise in this fiscal year. Otherwise, we need to make sure it's on the budget for next year. If it's like that time between December and January, if we can push it to January or something. Cool. Matthew, do you have any questions about?
Yeah,
Okay.
what number did we settle on for sewer and capital improvement?
So sewer 750, capital improvement 750. And then on Monday, can we get a copy of this account balance sheet with the proposed numbers and the subtraction of those numbers and showing how much cash would be left in each account? It's just something that I would be able to see without having to do mental math in our head to make sure we're happy and comfortable with the amount that we have in cash remaining.
That would basically, if we did that, that would put an additional almost $2 million in investments.
Yep.
That we would be earning return a lot.
A good amount. Yeah, absolutely.
That could fund things like this radio issue, new computers potentially.
Hey Jared, we were talking about a possible unexpected expense in the radio system, possibly around December. Do you have a little bit more information on that?
Yeah, so Kansas City let me know, wasn't last week, it was a week before, on a Wednesday, that this link right out here, it's on this tower, is a 4.9 gigahertz, something or other, and it shoots the world's fun tower. Evidently, the FCC is terminating those frequencies, for lack of better terms. Come to find out because AT&T is paying the FCC a lot of money to take those over for the first network or whatever it is.
The first net
First
network.
responder network,
Yeah,
yeah.
the first net. network.
So it was us, Raytown, Riverside, Kansas City. There's 2 or 3 other cities that still have those 4.9 gigahertz.
It's like
frequencies.
backlink or backbone connections
Yeah.
back to the.
The good thing is we have this microwave up here that also shoots the world's fun tower that is 11 gigahertz, so that won't be affected. So we will still, if this one gets shut down, we'll still be able to go with this 11 gigahertz. So we'll still have radio traffic. The only bad thing is we only have one link. So if that goes down, we're going to be on our handhelds. All of our 911 lines, admin lines would then be transferred to Clay County. Kansas City is working right now with getting fiber connection at the Worlds of Fun site. He thinks we should be able to link in with our fiber, and that'll give us our second link.
So primary hardwire link and then a
Yeah.
backup
So
radio frequency.
if that doesn't work, he said it's been about 5 years since he put it out to bid for an additional link. And he said back then it was about $50,000.
Okay.
He doesn't know what that would cost.
$50,000 would be Pleasant Valley's cost.
It could be split, because that's how we got that one. It was split between us, Mark, and Kansas City.
Okay, so multiple people.
Yeah.
Chipped into it.
So that's a possibility as well.
Ideally, fiber would be better.
It would, and that's what he's hoping he can get.
Well, we were talking about how much cash would be appropriate to retain in some of these things and some of these accounts. And capital improvements is one of our heavy hitters for total amount of cash on hand.
Yep.
So 500,000, even plus or minus a couple percentage points,
Yeah.
we would still have enough cash on hand if that became a thing. Yeah. go ahead.
Additional radio piece, and I think it's on there. We are going to have to replace our consoles, dispatch consoles, before 2029.
Okay.
Those consoles are going to be obsolete, and Motorola has their grip on everything. And right now, they're pricing their consoles about $120,000, $130,000 a piece.
Okay.
And
Are those on a schedule for capital improvements already?
it was put on there last year.
Okay.
For 2 of them, because if we are going to continue to dispatch, we need to be able and capable to handle real life scenarios. We only have 1 console down there right now. We need to have 2.
I think it's a valuable service for the community, and making sure that we have proper equipment down there is really important.
And we also dispatch for other agencies. So.
Yeah, it's a source of revenue in addition to protecting our citizens. So, yeah, I'm fully supportive of that, and as long as it's on the capital improvements plan, then we should already be funding it for until it's due to be replaced. Cool. Well, no, you're good. Okay. That is it on the first topic. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns before we move on to Number B, letter B, update on computer refresh. Hey Debbie, you can work with Matthew to get some of the information of what we discussed. It's all going to be in our board packets for this upcoming Monday.
Okay.
Awesome. So the next sheet that you have is a spreadsheet of computers across the city. It looks like we have about 43 computers, and some of them are, well, first of all, they are all running Windows 10. This is a list of the Windows 10 PCs. Windows 10 goes end of life in like October, right?
Yes.
In October, it goes end of life, which means they won't support security patches. They won't support feature upgrades. If we have a problem with the operating system, we are out of luck. So a refresh of the hardware is required in order to install the updated operating system. So Matthew is working with all of the department heads to get a quote together for the equipment, which you will see right on the next page. That is a quote for a replacement of 10 of the units with a Dell, 10 of the units with a Lenovo, and then some office upgrades between business and business standard, which Microsoft is changing their licensing for that. So there's a cost difference. This is more an FYI. This is not final. This is not we're ready to present it. This is just know that over the next couple of months we will have an effort between all of our departments and MDL to replace a lot of computer equipment.
So are all of these 42 computers needed?
That's part of the exercise we're going through right now.
Okay.
I'm trying to time with Daniel at MDL to, what I want to do is do a walkthrough with him and touch every computer here. And you know, hopefully department heads can be present when we're in their area, just to say, what is this one being used? Do we need it? Is this one that's on the list that needs to, that won't be supported going forward? Is it, if it's not on that list and it's being used, then we don't need anything with that one. We're only looking at potentially replacing ones that are being used and in need and are not going to be supported. So that project is in the works.
18 of the 42 will support the upgrade, so they got 24 that won't. And if we're only buying 10, I hope that means 14 of these can disappear.
But even the yeses there that are Windows 11 compatible, those also have the potential to not be needed because we currently pay MDL per computer that is supported by them. So no, we may not need to spend money on a new piece of hardware, but we could probably save some funds on, does this computer equipment need to be there? And if not, you may be able to utilize a Windows 11 compatible machine that's not needed in some place else where it is needed. And save a little bit of funds
Or
there.
if it's older, move it into a position that it would be like, you know, Public Works, where those guys just get on a computer once a week for something instead of a daily user.
Hey Matthew, I know that this project is coming up due in the next couple of months. When do you anticipate having a finalized report for the board?
Next month.
Cool. Awesome. Any other questions on that topic? Awesome. The next item on our agenda is the update on the phone number audit. So one of the things that signing checks has revealed is, holy cow, we spend a lot of money on phone numbers. The city has like 44 phone numbers. Many of these phone numbers are direct lines to a random phone someplace in the building. We pay per phone number, and in some cases, many of cases, we rent the phone itself as well. Many of these phones are like $40 to $50, and you can purchase them straight outright, but we continue to pay monthly $10 as a rental fee for many months. So this is another one of those projects that there's nothing to do right now. This is an FYI. that Matthew is heading up an effort to identify what these phone numbers are, whether they are truly required, and how we can eliminate the rental fee on them, on the ones that we do need remaining. Any questions on the phone numbers? This is $1,000 a month, pretty much, and I think we can reduce this one significantly.
Cut it in half at least. It'd be awesome.
Would be very nice. The last thing, discussion, well, next to the last thing, because we have the catch-all bucket at the end. I'm gonna call it number D because I'm already on that roll. Discussion on key budget dates for fiscal year 26. So you have a sheet of paper. This is the state requirement of the components of a budget. There are 5 components. A budget message that describes the budget last year and the changes that are being implemented this year. The estimated revenues, which is the numbers that we all care about. That's the numbers of what we're projecting income to be for the next year. Part of that requirement is that we also include in the budget the preceding 2 years as a point of comparison. So Matthew will be providing those reports as we get closer to time to approve the budget. And then the same for the expenses. So they separate those out. It's all one report for us. The front part is revenue. The second part is expenses. And then the same thing, it needs to be itemized by fund, activity, and object for the prior 2 years. The fourth item is the amount required for the payment of interest, amortization, and redemption charges on the debt of the political subdivision. So all that means is we need to count out what our debt is. It's only one thing, it's the fire station. And then what the remaining amount is, how much we pay per year, stuff like that, just to break down in the detail of that. And then number 5 is a general budget summary. These are high-level numbers that support the budget message. So this is about halfway through the year. We are looking at starting the fiscal year 26 budget in the next couple of months. This is a multi-phase effort. So the first phase is the city clerk works with department heads in order to figure out what expenses are expected to be for their departments. They will work and finalize what the numbers should be from their perspective. Additionally, the city clerk will anticipate the revenues. There's standardized calculations that can be applied to things like use tax and sales tax and property tax. Things like that are they're standard calculations that you just kind of punch in the numbers, and it provides a responsible budgetary amount back. And then after all the department heads provide their portions of the budget, then we will start meeting as a board in finance committee meetings to talk about the budget, talk to each of the department heads, understand what they care about for the next year, what their cost constraints are. Hey, the cost of amiodarone is going up and it's going to cost us twice as much next year. Like, this is the opportunity for us to better understand the operations of each department and understand the budgetary needs of each department. And our opportunity to question and get more information about it. After that, we're looking to approve the budget in either late November or early December. Matthew, is there anything that I missed in what to anticipate for the budget this year?
I don't think so. I just want it to be, I want the board to be not more involved in the nuts and bolts of it, but just as we come to you with budget, that you are as involved as you care to be in. I want you to feel comfortable to ask anything you want to ask of me, of Patrick, of just, and to be as involved in the process as you want to be.
Awesome. Any questions about the budget? Fantastic. Does anyone have any comments? Either department heads, do you guys have anything for us?
The only thing I would have is that Blue Shield grant that we got for $50,000. It is you don't have to fight other people for it. You automatically get $50,000 because we have that anointment of the Blue Shield program. the first thing that popped into my head to use that money towards was to replace all of our in-car cameras. I think all of them are not supported anymore. So if something breaks on them, we're going to pay out of pocket for it. They're not under warranty. A couple of the guys thought a drone would be handy. We wouldn't use it very often, but when it's needed, it's needed. It's a major incident. We could have used it on that little hostage situation down there in the apartment complex. It was, what, 4 or 5 months ago now. Kearney has 2 of them. They say they use them probably 2 or 3 times a month. So like I said, wouldn't be used very often, but a drone is another option. We'll try to come up with some other equipment items that we can use it on, but those are the 2 things that we're thinking about right now.
Cool, and that's just a straight grant, like, it's used, you tell them what you want to use it for? And they
Yeah,
send-
there's some restrictions
Sure.
on it, but those 2 things are on stuff that we can purchase.
Cool. Matthew, do you have something?
With the in-car cameras, would that eat up the whole 50,000?
The last time we bought a camera, Gordon was here, and it was probably the first year or 2 that he was here. And back then, I think it was like $5,500 a camera. I'm sure it's probably about 7 now, so probably half, not half, a little more.
And you can kind of pick and choose what you need to add to it, like, to utilize the full amount.
Yeah. So if we get a drone, we would have to outfit one of our cars, the rear of it, because I mean, it's pretty slick outfit. There's cameras and TVs in the back with extra batteries. It's a pretty neat to watch them fly.
And is stuff like that transferable between the cars that you upgrade? I know we were trying to cycle through your vehicles on a regular cadence.
Yeah, that stuff probably would be transferable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for bringing that. I'm sure we'll hear more about it over the next couple of months, right?
Yep. Application has to be in by September 2nd.
Okay. Yeah, so just over 2 months.
Yeah.
Cool.
We have the money. I just have to tell them what I want with it.
Awesome. Any other finance topics from anybody? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay,
I make a motion to adjourn.
perfect. Call the roll, please.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Jacoby,
Yes.
Scarborough,
Yes.
Showers.
Yes.
Fantastic. Thanks for a great meeting, guys. Oh, you're good.
My head is that.
No. Today is Audrey's last day. She is downstairs, so if you want to say your
Yeah,
goodbyes
I'll
to her.
Shake some hands.
Keep her until what time?
Well, I think we had a little going away party for her at 4 o'clock. And Chris is going to come in a little early, so she can